$1.4 billion is the estimated prize for this Wednesday's Powerball. That's about $868 million if the winner chooses cash up front. It's about $525 million after federal taxes. Hey, Kevin. Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to share some thoughts with you. An office pool for tomorrow's Powerball. There's some things that you probably need to know to protect your rights, to keep your friendships intact. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Good to see you, Mummy Boss 3. And I'm casual right now, okay? That's the way I like to roll. Got a new stand here I'm playing around with, so it keeps shifting on me. But I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips that you'll pick up by the time we're done with this Periscope that will help you. I can't guarantee you're going to win tomorrow's Powerball. I just can't do that. But it will help you with your office relationships. It'll help avoid litigation. It'll help avoid any misunderstandings with respect to tomorrow's Powerball when you win the Powerball. Okay, guys, my name is Mitch Jackson, 30 years practicing law here in Southern California, and I'll be sharing with you some legal concepts that may or may not apply in your state. So I'm sharing, although I am a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not giving legal advice, but I want you guys, if you're putting together an office pool or a family pool, a neighborhood pool for tomorrow's lottery, for tomorrow's Powerball, take into consideration some of the things I'm sharing right now. Before I jump into my first tip, you guys, please swipe up on Androids, please swipe left to right on your iPhone and share this Periscope with your audience if you would, please. I really appreciate it. If you like any of these tips, any of these thoughts, heart it up. You know, lawyers love hearts. We don't get enough love in the world. Right now I'm trailing in trial. Most of you know I'm supposed to be up at Periscope Summit. I'm definitely going to be there on Friday. I'm flying up early Friday morning from Orange County for the day and then leaving late that night, meeting with experts all weekend. But I'm trailing. They're trying to find me a courtroom right now. That's why I'm casual. If I'm on 4 hours notice, if they don't find me a courtroom, I might be able to scoot on up there sooner. So we'll find out. But listen, guys, you've all heard horror stories about Powerball lotteries. There was a case where Kaiser employees all got together, purchased tickets together, and then I believe the winning ticket was claimed by one of the employees that was charged with going out and getting the tickets. And he or she said, well, I bought this ticket for myself, not for the group. There was another case where there were New Jersey construction workers, the same type of scenario. The gentleman that was charged with buying the lotto tickets ended up winning and claimed that the ticket that he won belonged to him and not the group. And the courts had to get involved, and everything got into expensive, time-consuming litigation. Friendships were ruined. Probably people were left out in the cold who should have gotten some money. So I want to help you avoid having this happen to you when you win tomorrow's Powerball. So here's what I think you guys ought to do. The first thing I think you ought to do, and there's 5 steps. Step number 1, okay? And I'll be sharing these steps on Snapchat after today's Twitter, or after today's Periscope Twitter. So you guys, if you miss any of this, you can check it out at Snapchat. It'll be a little bit shorter format. But number 1, what I want you to do is I want you to pick a group leader. Pick somebody who's in charge of organizing your Powerball pool at the office, in the neighborhood, at home, at your church, at your Rotary Club, wherever it might be. All the judges at the courthouse, all the clerks at the courthouse, get one person to be in charge of organizing everything, okay? That's the person that's going to be creating a contract. A contract, a written agreement. You guys need to have a written agreement that sets forth some terms I'm going to be talking about to protect everybody's interest, okay? Bear with me, because this will all make sense once I get through my 5 steps. But you want one person that's in charge of collecting all the money. You want one person that's in charge of buying the tickets. You want one person who's in charge of communicating with everybody in your office pool, okay? So, and that one person's also going to be in charge of having a written agreement, a contract, depending on which state you're in, having it put together that simply sets forth some of the terms and conditions. Everyone reads it, everyone signs it, everyone's listed on that contract that's participating in the office pool. All right, so with respect to the contract, you need to state this is number 2, okay? And 1 is you pick somebody that's running with the ball, the Powerball, and in charge of everything. Number 2 is you want to create a contract. And you want to create a written contract with clear and concise terms. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to lawyer up, okay? Just clearly delineate what the terms are of your particular office pool. For example, when will the tickets be purchased? Okay, will they be purchased one time? Is this a one-time office pool? Is it a weekly pool? Is it a monthly pool? You need to delineate what the terms of the length of the pool is and how often you'll be purchasing tickets. Who's going to be participating in your office pool? Have a list of people who will be participating, and they'll be signing the contract. How will the winnings, when you win tomorrow's Powerball, how will the winnings be divided? Okay, that's the next thing. Will the winnings be divided equally? Will there be some type of percentage? If you put in a certain amount of money, are you entitled to a different percentage of the winnings? Okay, what if there's a small prize? What if you don't win the Powerball tomorrow? Okay, and it's interesting. I did some notes about that. Check this out. The odds, well, let me finish my train of thought. If you don't win the Powerball tomorrow, but there's a smaller amount that's won, $5, $10, $100, or $1,000, your contract needs to lay out, what are we going to do with that money? Do we reinvest it for the next week? Do we divvy it up among all the participating group members? What are we going to do? Speaking of winning the Powerball, you guys, these numbers are mind-boggling. I just read that the odds are about 1 in 292 million, which is equivalent to flipping a coin and getting heads 28 times in a row. Okay, the odds of getting struck by lightning are better than 1 in 960,000. So, you know, the odds of getting struck by lightning are a lot greater. It's a lot easier to get struck by lightning than it will be to win tomorrow's Powerball. But here's something I didn't know. I read last night that the odds of winning tomorrow's Powerball are actually greater than if you or I tried to pick a perfect March Madness bracket. As a matter of fact, a perfect March Madness basketball tournament bracket is 500 times more difficult than winning tomorrow's Powerball. I didn't know that, and I didn't double check that, but it comes from a reliable source. So let's go back to the terms of the contract. We're talking about number one, designate a leader. I know it's nuts. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. Everybody follow Nicole. Love what she's doing. LA lawyer, doing amazing things on social and the digital platforms. Number two, create a contract with clear and concise, easy to understand terms. We were going through the terms. Next, what I'd like to do is in the contract, how are you going to pick the numbers? Will it be a computer generated numbers, or is everyone actually picking specific numbers? You need to lay that out in your contract. Probably the easiest way is to have a computer pick the numbers for you. Next in your contract, is the manager, is your leader allowed to purchase a ticket on his own or on her own? Think about that. If you basically have someone that agrees to be your leader and also agrees not to individually buy a ticket, then that might avoid any issues down the line. Let's see. If you guys win tomorrow's Powerball, if your office pool wins tomorrow's Powerball, you want to have in your contract, in your agreement, will we be accepting the money as a cash lump sum payout, or will it be paid out annually? Okay. Work all these details out ahead of time to avoid any misunderstandings, any hurt feelings, and possible litigation. Next is, if you guys win tomorrow, do you want it to be an anonymous type of winning, or do you want it to be public? Do you want to go out on stage and get interviewed by all the news channels across the world, or do you want to keep it anonymous? And each states are different as to what you're allowed to do. So check with a qualified lawyer in your state if this is a big deal to you. But these are things you want to work out ahead of time. Then what you want to do is have everybody read the agreement and sign the agreement so that there's no misunderstandings. I know it's kind of a hassle, but it's better to take these steps now than it is to deal with them later. Let's see here. Next, make a public list. Number three, make a public list of everybody in your office pool. And this way, once again, somebody who thought they were in the pool, that gave somebody some money because they thought they were part of the pool, turns out you win tomorrow and nobody else knew that person was part of the pool. That could create some issues. You may have some people in your pool making representations to other people in the office, at home, in their neighborhood. So to avoid any of those misunderstandings, have everybody's name on the contract, as an addendum who's part of your office pool. Let's see here. Also, number four, make copies of the contract and give it to everybody. Make copies of the list so everybody knows who's on a part of the office pool and make copies of all the lotto tickets that you buy, all the Powerball tickets that you buy. Your leader should make copies and make them available to everybody else in the pool. And that way everyone knows what numbers you're all waiting to see will be called tomorrow during the Powerball. Next, number 5, it's important for the leader of your office pool to know the rules of your individual state. Okay? The states are different. In New York, for example, if your office pool wins in New York, I believe the state of New York, and you can check this, but I believe they can issue a check up to 10 people. After 10 people, they can't issue any more separate checks. So if you have an office pool of 50 people and you win tomorrow in New York, some other alternatives might be to form a corporation or an LLC and have the money go into that and then distribute it. You can form a trust, have the money go into the trust, and then distribute the money. There may be all types of tax benefits associated with all of the above. So check with a qualified lawyer, accountant, CPA, financial planner to get those issues resolved so you can make smart decisions. The reason you need to make smart decisions is there's a lot of money on the table tomorrow. If you win, okay, the decisions you make today literally could be huge when it comes to distributing funds tomorrow. So that's my thought. Those are my thoughts for today. These are my 5 tips for if you're in an office pool, if you're in a family pool, neighborhood pool, whatever it might be, and you're buying lotto tickets together. These are 5 things. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. These are 5 things that you should absolutely do to protect your rights, to help keep everything moving smoothly forward, to avoid litigation. I had a friend from law school when we first graduated many, many years ago who represented someone that won the lotto. And he had a ticket, a winning ticket. It wasn't the grand prize, but I think there was like a couple $100,000 involved. And what happened is the person found the ticket and turned it in, and allegedly the ticket was 1 day late. Here in California at that point in time, you had to turn your ticket in within 6 months. And I don't know what it is in other states. And I think it was like 6 months and a day. Okay? And the point is, if you take steps today to prepare for tomorrow, the rest of your life just might be really, really awesome. When you win tomorrow, and if it's because of any of the 5 tips that I've shared with you today, remember me. Remember where you heard it from. I'm here. I'm easy to get a hold of. Okay? I'd like to be a part of your pool. Oh, real quick, and this is important for all you Periscopers out there. What we watched last night is we watched someone on the news on Periscope buying tickets and talking to another news broadcaster, and the 2 news broadcasters on Periscope were kidding around, and one said to the other, "If you win, will you share your winnings with me?" And he or she said, "Yes, absolutely." So the question is, if you're on live stream, watch what you say, guys. Oftentimes on live stream, when you say something, when you make a promise, and if somebody relies upon that promise, if there's consideration, there actually might be a binding agreement there. So be careful with what you promise on live streaming, especially if it involves tomorrow's Powerball lottery, okay? All right, so just be careful about that. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I'm going to try to get some work done. I'm still waiting for the clerk to call. I'll see everybody up in San Francisco on Friday, if not earlier. We'll see how things go today. And if you guys have any questions, reach out at streaminglawyer.com. My name is Mitch Jackson. You can connect with me at Mitch Jackson. And until tomorrow, you guys have a great thank you. You guys, good luck. Good luck with the Powerball, everybody. I hope everybody wins something. And for the rest of today, which is Tuesday, enjoy, hug your family, hug your friends, and make today your masterpiece. Thanks, guys. We'll see you. Bye-bye.